So in this video, we are going to cover 5 things that we do to improve our paddle faster off court. And these 5 things I actually think are either more important or at least just as important as the things that we learn on court. And the information that we're sharing with you today are actually based off of our 6-month experience of aspiring professional paddle players, where we train up to 20 hours per week.
Oh yes, let's start with the first thing, that is physical training. We do physical training 5 times per week, 1 hour each day. Honestly, I think that this is super important, mostly for injury prevention. You will feel a difference in your mobility and in your injuries. If you spend a lot of hours in the court, then it's important that you take care of your body and hit the gym a couple of times per week.
Yeah, in my experience, I've done many sports. I started as a kickboxer, I've done cycling, running, swimming, triathlon, and I've trained up to 30 hours per week sometimes. And when I say train, I mean like the most intense training that I've ever done.
Actually, it would be cool to put a clip of you crying on the bike because your training was crazy.
Oh yeah, like I trained to the point of everything shaking, of tears, of crying because of how intense my training has been. Now, my point in saying that is that if I compare this sport to any of the other sports that I've done, I find, which is crazy, it blows my mind, that this sport actually comes with more injuries. With that said, injury at the end of the day prevents you from playing paddle, prevents you from performing your best and from putting in the hours that you want to put in to level up your game, right? So that's why physical training is so important. Like Alba said, it's not going to change your technique much on the court. You're not going to level up in paddle in that sense, but it's definitely going to allow you to train longer and with more quality and with more volume. I say this with experience. I've always been in the gym. I've always had muscles to protect my joints. And in paddle, we use our shoulders, our elbows, our knees, the very sensitive joints in our body. And I find that I've been so grateful, and so I want to knock on wood, but I've been injury-free as for all of my career as an athlete and for all of my time playing paddle as well. And I really give the credit to having strength and having muscles protect my body. I went and I did a sonogram on my shoulder because I feel like I have some block in my shoulder and I want to be able to do my gantros better and my smashes better. And actually the physio found that I had an injury in my shoulder, like a really big tear. And he even asked me about it, do you remember having this injury? And I don't even remember having the injury. I don't remember having it happen. And I really think it's because, and he also said it himself, that he thinks it's because I have so much muscle there that I didn't even feel the injury. So that's just to stress the importance of physical training.
And also something that you can work on your physical training sessions as well. Those things that they are very lessive on court, but you can control them on your training. For example, movements as de-accelerating, try to stop with the weight, reaction movements as well that you would use on the court. There are some exercises that we do at the gym that I really thought that they wouldn't be very useful for us to improve on court. Now that I've been training for 6 months, I see how it makes sense to do them because I see improvements in my mobility. For example, just by doing side lunges with weight, I used to have a very block in my hips and my hip mobility was very bad. Paddle, you have to be low almost all the time when you're defending. I really find that by doing just side lunges and doing them a lot, every single day I would do them, I find that my mobility in my hips have unlocked a lot, and now I'm able to go way lower without having any pains. Before I used to have some pains in my knees that now have disappeared because I'm strengthening my glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, everything is getting better right now. And something that I think it's super important to do in the gym as well, it's some shadow movements that you are struggling to do in the court. For example, imagine that you want to change your technique in a volley. You're opening so much with your arm and you want to open shorter or change a couple of technical aspects of your volley. Instead of trying to change those aspects in the court, which it's very difficult and it's going to take you a long time because when you are on the court, the ball comes very fast to you. You don't have time to think so much, and at the end of the day you usually play with an automatic pilot. For you to get better faster, if you just get your racket and 10 minutes every day, you just look at yourself yourself in the mirror with the racket and do the shadow with no balls, with just like in front of the mirror, that's gonna help your game so much, because you're gonna be able to correct your technique way faster, because as more you repeat the movement, even if it's without the ball, as more connections your brain does, and the muscle memory will come way faster. So then you're gonna be in the court and you're gonna suddenly think that your movement is coming along together without you even thinking, but it's because you put the work off court before in the gym or in your house. But that's super important, and I think it's something that I've done and I want to do even more. Like I always tell Nini that every time we struggle with something, we should do it off court, because then your muscle memory, if you make those connections before, it's gonna work on the court and you're gonna feel way better.
Yeah, so much of paddle is muscle memory. So much of paddle is habit, and your body just working without you having to think, because you don't have time to think. You have to train your mind to make your shots just part of you, and to make your shots habit. And also, like exactly what Ava said, like when you're playing on the court, when you're playing under pressure, even in training, one, you can't see yourself, so you don't know if you're doing it correctly, and two, because you're under pressure, you're thinking of everything else, you know, plus the game, plus the people surrounding you. Doing the shadow boxing really allows you to, you can watch yourself. Oh, the shadow boxing, sorry. Like doing shadowing in paddle really allows you to like dial in on what you're doing, and also really it programs it in there in a more effective way.
Yeah, for sure. And this leads us to the next point, which is recovery. So I have to say that in this point, we are not the best example. At the beginning, when we first started, we just wanted to play paddle all the time. We would take extra classes if the coaches would allow us. We were playing minimum 4 hours per day, but sometimes it would be up to 5.5 and even 6 sometimes.
Yeah, like if they had an extra spot in another class, we would take it, like no question. And then sometimes after our classes, if there was a free court, like before going home, we would just go back into the court again and hit balls and try and relearn everything that we learned. So put 20 hours per week plus. Like
we were going very hard in that. Something that we have learned, and I think the hard way, is that not because you put more hours you're gonna get better faster. In our case, for example, we were really tired at the end of the week. Like it would be Friday, and from Friday to Sunday I wasn't able to do anything else that just rest, because I was like physically and mentally exhausted for both things.
Yeah. Like our thinking with that, and why we chose that, was because it's just like, you know, we're starting late, we're both older, and it's just like we want to have as many hours as physically possible. So we were just like, we have an extra court, this is what we should be doing. We should be grinding. Like, oh, we have an extra hour in the day, instead of 30 minutes of rest, we're gonna take that 30 minutes and we're gonna relearn what we just learned. Like that was our mentality, and we quickly learned that that was not the way to go about it.
Yeah, because the weekend would come and we wouldn't use it. Like we supposed to play matches besides the classes, and we weren't able to play because we were exhausted. I have to say that's something that we're doing way better now, that we're just taking the classes that we have to take, and then now on the weekends we have way more energy. Now we're planning matches, we're playing way more, and we feel better as well. Like I feel our brain works better.
Yeah, we're prioritizing our recovery and looking at our recovery as part of our training, because if we don't recover, if our bodies are exhausted to the point where we can't perform, at the end of the day, we're not having quality classes. Right. Like we were just talking before the video, like as we were going over all of the points, and we said that think about how we've changed. And we used to do like maybe a half an hour or an hour after our class when we were completely exhausted, not thinking well, not moving well, because we're tired, right? In that 1 hour, we were not getting as much as we would when we just come home instead, grab our notebooks and write down everything that we learned. So that takes very little energy, but absorb and process all of the things that we learned in our class. And I find that it is kind of like taking our class and with steroids, like it really sinks in deeper. And I feel like instead of doing that extra hour of physical training and mental training too, just coming home instead, relaxing, and then going over everything that we did in our class was way more quality, and I feel like it has improved my game even more than putting in the hours of work.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So yeah, rest is super important.
I mean, there's a few things that you can do for recovery which we wish that we do more of. We have Normatec booths. We're so grateful to have those.
Yeah.
There's no real science behind the recovery in Normatec booths. It's kind of like a massage. It helps the circulations in your muscles. But I think at the end of the day, it's even more mental than anything. And I think that's as important, like just to have that mental recovery as well. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind. So we would recommend Normatec booths. We recommend massages. I wouldn't do ice baths if you're living in Spain because it's freaking cold here. But just taking time for you and to
feel good.
Exactly. Recharge your batteries.
Right.
And this leads us into our next piece of advice, which is focusing on your mental training. I cannot stress this one enough. I think it's the most important, if any, of our 5 things that we're listing today. As a triathlete or a cyclist in the past, where I was training up to 30 hours a week, crazy intense training, I couldn't get through my workouts. I couldn't get through my week without mental training. And I think I forgot that in my transition phase to becoming a paddle player. They're very different sports, and I didn't understand how to do my mental training for paddle, but really it's exactly the same way. The mental game in paddle, I think, is even more important than any other sport that I've ever done. If your mind is not on, your game is not on. Like in cycling and running, you can kind of zone out and just push and grind and get through. But in paddle, it doesn't work like that. And so mental training should be part, I think, of any academy or any training plan. I think it should be physical training, paddle training, and mental training as like the 3 main pillars. And it's something that like cannot be neglected if you have big goals for yourself in paddle, like 100%. Until I started working on my mind, I feel like I was held back. I would have so many bad days. You know, paddle is a sport where you're gonna win and you're gonna lose. You're gonna win and you're gonna lose. Like, it's inevitable that you're gonna lose. Like, you never get 40-0, 40-0, 40-0. You always win some, lose some, win some, lose some. It's important to train your mind how to deal with the bad moments, the losses. I would come home a lot of the, like most of my days, and be like so beat up and so beat down and like so in my head about my bad moments. And that just completely destroyed my quality in my trainings and my game. Like, I know it stunted my growth. And as soon as I started focusing on my mental health and, you know, my mental game in the sport, I feel like my level just increased so much. We really encourage it. Some ways you can, you know, focus on that are like podcasts, like self-help podcasts. Like, there's so many out there, like motivational podcasts for athletes specific. One book that like got me started is this book, The Brave Athlete. It's pretty like diverse, and it's more tailored to like triathlon and endurance athletes, but like the ideas and the concept are the same, are more or less the same. There's another one that I recommend as well called The Chimp Paradox. I'll just link it below or put it somewhere on the screen. These are books that are gonna help you build your muscle, like your mind muscle, which is like the most important muscle in paddle. Besides building a strong mind in the way that you think and in your emotions and controlling your emotions in the game and off the court, I really also believe that strengthening your mind in the sport, like keeping a notebook, like this is another book both Alba and I have, and has also leveled us up and been a huge game changer, is just to take physical notes. Like, we have this entire book filled with our notes from all of our classes that we've done. Alba has hers digitally. She writes it down in her Kindle. I write mine here. Everyone knows this from like high school and college. If you're studying for an exam and you're just listening to the teacher in the classroom like tell you what's going to be on the exam, it's going to go through one ear and come out the other ear. But if you go home and you like literally write it down, there's something about that allows it to sink in your brain. And it's the same thing with paddle. I find that now when I go to my classes and I come home and I rewrite my class, I learn it 10 times better. So yeah, besides, you know, making sure your brain and your mind is strong mentally for your self-esteem and for your confidence on the court and for being able to control your emotions on the court and things like that, you want to reiterate your sessions and all of the things that you learn by writing them out. And I promise you, it's a game changer, 100%. You can vouch for how much I've transformed transformed as an athlete since I started,
Since we started
including mental training in my day, in my weeks.
100%. We started, with a lot of energy and a lot of motivation, but then the motivation goes. You end up being tired every day, drained, and you have good days and bad days, and sometimes you have a couple bad days in a row. I remember Nini really had a hard time just before the Christmas break, where mentally she was really not there. Like she was struggling so much. It was because of me that I started asking you, because I know she used to read a lot of books to be stronger in the mindset, and all those books were about athletes and how they perform and stuff. So I asked her, hey, like, which book would you recommend me to read, because I find that I need a bit of motivation in that way. And I bought the book, I started to read it, and then I remember like reading it and thinking, man, this book could really help you in this moment right now. And she really read it, but like you read and you forget it sometimes.
Yeah, and honestly, like I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, yeah, I'll read it, like whatever, I read it already, like just thinking that like I already know this stuff. But as soon as I started reading it and putting energy into this, everything started changing for me. I'm like, why wasn't I doing this before? It's exactly the same thing as like going to the gym in the beginning, like you're gonna be sore, but then after you work it out a bit more, then you get better at it. And mind training is exactly like that. Once you start working on your mind and you continuously work on your mind gets better. Like it, like I feel so strong. And then you just, I don't know, you apply it in your everyday life. You try to apply it in your,
because once you're strong in your mind because of sports or because of anything, you're strong in your mind in any other aspect in your life. It really boosts your self-confidence, and it boosts you in life in general. So it's a great thing.
Like you'll realize when you start training your mind, it's basically all of the same things. Like, and it, like you already said, like it applies to every part of your life. So if ever you're feeling weak in your mind, it's like you go back to the same concepts that you would if you had to in the court in your day-to-day.
And this lead us to the next advice that I think I struggled, I don't know if the most, but I think it's a very important topic as well. That is the self-talk. And here for self-talk, I wanna talk about ego, because that's something I noticed just recently, not so long ago. I think I never thought it through so much, so I never really paid attention to it, but I always had it all my life. And it's like, I don't think I have a big ego in my regular life. Like, well, I guess we all have in a certain extension. But when I play paddle, or when I used to play tennis in the past as well, I think I behave the same. I find myself having it a lot on the court. And that means, for example, like you're playing against a team that you think you can win or that you should win, and you start making some mistake that you are not supposed to do. I find myself getting super upset because, I don't want to lose against a team that's worse than me. And this ego comes into me and makes me talk down on myself and be super frustrated and upset. And it's kind of like it's a ball that gets bigger and bigger, and then like after a couple of games I'm already like in a mindset where I'm lost already. I don't have control about how I'm talking to myself, or I'm already in this pattern of like self-destructive talk, like, oh, you're so bad, like how you don't win this, or like how is that you make so many mistakes, instead of focusing on what's going on, why are you making so many mistakes, what's happening that you can change in the moment. I think that frustration comes very easy to me sometimes when I make mistakes that I shouldn't supposed to, and that frustration comes because I think I have a big ego in the court sometimes. Since I paid attention to that, I try to be much better, and I think I'm better than before, not 100%. Of course, I still have to work a lot, but I think the day that I achieve to change that dynamic of getting so frustrated so fast and talking so bad to myself in the court, I think my game will improve so much when I play a match, for 100%.
Sure. 100%. I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate. Like, you've had a match where something doesn't go your way, something was exchanged between you and your partners or whatever, and your mind stays there. and you're no longer in the game. And because of it, you're not playing as good, you lose a point, and then that gets in your head and you're playing worse. And it's just like a spiral effect, like, you know, a domino effect. One bad thing goes wrong and then another and then another and another. Like it has happened to me so many times. Even just training with Alba, we would just like exchange a bad vibe between us, even that has nothing to do with the game. That would go in my head and that would mess up my game. So this like goes back as well to the mental game and training your mental game and being able to control your emotions on the court, because that 100% is going to affect your game. And like Alba was saying with your ego, like it's actually science, like the way you talk to yourself, and even if something as small as your posture and your position on your court, how you hold your body, like it has been scientifically proven that changes your mood and that changes your energy. So imagine words to yourself, how much that affects you. Like you don't realize it, like in the moment, like we just grew up, you know, talking like crap, you know, all the time, but you really don't realize like how much it affects you. So it's really important to listen to yourself and to talk positively to yourself instead of getting upset because, okay, somebody who isn't your level, who's a lower level than you is winning at this moment, and that shouldn't be happening. Like instead of beating yourself up at mistakes, if you can take every mistake and turn it into a lesson, then you're winning every single time, right?
Exactly.
You're growing every single moment. But if you're taking every single mistake and beating yourself up for it, that's a loss. Like then you're double losing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because sometimes you play a match and you go home and you just come home so upset and you're like, oof, I played so bad today, I had such a bad match, and you're in a bad mood. That has happened to us, like, and then we ask each other, but why did you play so bad, or what happened?
Yeah.
And then you don't even know because you're so much in your head that you are not even analyzing what's going on, what's wrong, like what can you do to change. So you're just like stuck with a negative thought, but you are not, you don't take anything positive or any lesson from the match. So that's crazy, and that's so important.
Yeah, because I just said it in the last point. Paddle is a game of losing and winning. Losing is part of the sport. There's never, ever a match in professional sport, you watch it on TV, ever, where it's 40-0, 40-0, even if you're playing like people that are not your level, it's you win some, you lose some. You make mistakes as well, even if the other team is not making mistakes. Like, you're not perfect, you're human. The sport is not like other sports. Like for me, I'm experiencing the sport for the first time, and I'm realizing like it's not a race. Like, you know, you're like Albo said it perfectly earlier. In running or cycling, for example, you train really hard. You have like a sub 20 5K. Somebody else who hasn't trained harder than you is probably like 99% of the time not going to beat you in that run. You know what I mean? But in paddle, it's like you win some, you lose some, you win some, you lose some. And so if you can learn to take the ones that you lose, take the mistakes, analyze them, learn from them, try and figure out where you went wrong, your game is going to improve so much. You're going to level up so much faster than anyone who has ego, who's upset, whatever. We've experienced this both ways. Like, we've experienced it where we've completely like almost lost matches that we completely should have won. We've lost complete tournaments, lost every single game because we were like in our heads so much, and games that we definitely shouldn't have, or at least have like put up way more of a fight, but because we were just like so in our heads, we don't even know where we went wrong, or we didn't even take the time to analyze it. And that is all time wasted, because those are all opportunities to grow as a paddle player, and we just kind of let those go away.
100%. And the last thing that we're going to touch on is nutrition and hydration. We follow a very specific diet, and because, you know, nutrition is very controversial, it's a very big topic. Like, we don't want to talk in detail about the way we eat, because I don't think it makes sense in this video. Maybe if you're interested, we can do a different video, separate video about that. I don't know, I just want to say like that, you know what's good and what's bad. For example, we're vegan, so we are not gonna eat any animal products. For someone that eats, you know, meat and dairy and everything that is not vegan, like, they know what's good and what's bad in the way that, you know, that a burger is not gonna be good for you, or it's not the best for you, or that French fries are not the best, you know, like we all have like a basic education about nutrition.
Yeah, and even how it makes you feel, like, you know what
exactly
you know what meals make you feel good and what meals make you feel bad. You know what I mean? You know when you're eating something that you feel guilty afterwards, or you eat something and you feel great afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Alba said, like it's a very controversial topic. We don't want to preach and tell you how to eat unless that's something that you're really interested in and really want our advice on, because we have so much information on that we could share with you. It's such a broad topic, nutrition and hydration. But the one thing that, and why we wanted to add this in there and why we wanted to stress it, is because it really affects your performance. It really affects your recovery and how you're able to train later, and also how you're able to perform in your classes. Like, I think a lot of people don't know that, or don't take it as serious, kind of like the mental training, you know, like they just want to put the volume in, they just want to like play paddle and do classes, and they think that that's the most important thing. But I think that, like, you know, in the 5 pillars, it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see, like, you know, for sure, like I learned this with my sports in the past, but you'll see as well in professional sport, Premier Padel, none of the athletes are not hydrating between their games, and or even fueling between their games. If anything is taking more than 45 minutes, you have to be refueling your body. So it's really important to learn about fueling properly for your body so that you can be able to perform the best that you can. Like, everybody's bodies are different, you know, some people need a little bit more, some people need a little bit less. Also, the intensity of the match depends as well. But it's important that you learn about that. It's important that you do your research and take it seriously, like on and off the court, like, you know, for recovery fuel, and then for while you're training as well, because we run off of fuel, right? We run off of fuel. I'm not going to get into so much detail on that because it is such a big topic, but we are always going to perform better when we're fueled up, always. And it's important to know about that. And also, like, if you're not eating well and giving your body good nutrients off of the court as well, like, your recovery is going to suffer, and your performance on the court is also going to suffer.
Even your sleep will suffer
your
as
sleep
well.
as well.
So your overall, like,
Yeah.
what you put in your body is so important, and it makes you feel different, like, overall.
For sure, like quality of life, like athlete or not, what you put into your body is so important. So yeah, like we won't
actually, sorry to cut you, but actually there's something that you use a lot for fueling on the court, and I can just go get it. One second.
Yeah.
I will.
To continue while Alba comes back, like fueling, like as a triathlete, as an endurance athlete, and I mean, this sport is an endurance sport as well. Like, it's a different type of sport than cycling and running, but at the end of the day, like, it is endurance. Like, you know, some of the matches last up to 2 hours. Like, you need to be refueling. Like, it's crazy. I go to trainings and people are not drinking, they're not refueling, and I know that's affecting their performance because I've learned that firsthand. So yeah, like if we could just recommend.
So yes, this Nini uses it all the time, in and out of the court. She's getting addicted, but it's just basically we buy this in Mercadona. It's a supermarket here in Spain. But it's basically just fruits. It's for babies. It's for 6 months and 8 month baby food, but it just has fruits. That's the only ingredient. That this is like a banana, apple, like lemon. Like that's the one of the options that we use.
And let me tell you why, because a lot of people laugh at me when they see me eating this, but the reason why I choose this is because it's clean, it's fast, it's easy, and it does the job. Like, it's whole foods, right? It's healthy. It's just fruits, pureed fruits. It has the fiber in it. Plus, like, I don't have to worry about like it going bad because it's always here. I always have them. Like with bananas, like I can buy a bunch of bananas, but like if I keep it in my car or whatever, like it's gonna go rotten. Or if I keep it in my bag, it's gonna, you know.
You forget the banana in the car, and then it's all rotten the next day.
Easy. I open it, I chug it back, and that's it. So
like a gel.
Exactly. It's like a natural gel. Like if you're an athlete and you see the pro players, they always have gels. That's just fructose. That's just sugar, you know, processed sugar. And this is basically the same thing with all the nutrients.
Something we eat a lot as well is dates. We always have a box like this in our house. It's great because they have a lot of sugar as well, but you know, like you're eating the sugar with the fiber, they digest very fast, and you really, like, after eating a couple, if you wait 10-15 minutes, you already feel that they bring you up a lot. So
Yeah.
it's important that when you try to fuel yourself, to try to eat foods that have sugar. And like, for example, I just see people, for example, eating almonds or foods that they don't digest fast. If you eat an almond, maybe your stomach is gonna digest it in 45 minutes, you know, like you're gonna finish the match and not feel anything yet.
Yeah, the energy that it takes for your body to digest fats is a lot harder on your body. So you're gonna put more energy into your digestive system than in your game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why things like this that kind of pre-digested a little bit, they go into the bloodstream way faster, and then your body doesn't have to do so much work breaking it down. So you're not gonna feel heavy, you're not gonna feel like your body is working. It really is something that we recommend.
To finish with this point, I think we can do maybe like 3 recommendations in nutrition hydration. Well, the first one is super basic, is stay hydrated. Like, you're really gonna feel it so much in your energy levels. If you're hydrated, you're gonna have more energy. You're gonna have way less cramps, or no cramps actually. If you're hydrated, like, you shouldn't have cramps, and if you do have them, it's because you are not.
And when we say hydrated, we don't mean like putting a salt pill in your water and drinking that in between sets, because that's not hydration. Like, sure, that's kind of like a band-aid temporary fix, that, like, you know, having the electrolytes, the salt makes your body absorb more water. But I promise you, because as an endurance Ironman triathlete who used to sweat 3 pounds of water, like, I never got cramps. And the reason is, and I never took those electrolyte pills, and the reason for that, and I raced in the Caribbean under the hot sun in the middle of the day, so you know what I'm talking about. I sweat a lot. And my point is, the reason I never got cramps was because I was hydrated, not just during my trainings, but all the time. All the time. I made it my job to be hydrated all day long, all week long, when I was training, when I wasn't training. So be focused on your hydration always. Always, always, always. The last one, just to take it home, one of the big ones is listen to your body. Like we said before, like, you know what feels good. You know what your body works well with. Maybe it's even trial or error. Maybe that's the best way. Try different things. See where you're performing your best. See where you're feeling the best. See where you're performing the strongest in the gym and things like that. And do what works. Do what works. Listen to your body. The other thing that we would recommend as well, to keep it real, to keep it whole foods, is to avoid eating out, because that's gonna allow you to really know what it is that you're putting in your body. You know, try meal prep if you can. Try and cook for yourself.
Yeah, eating out or buying the supermarket things that are already cooked. Like, well, it's the same thing, but yeah, but sometimes, you know, like, we just get like an omelette that is already cooked in the supermarket, and it's full of other things that an omelette shouldn't have, for example.
Yeah, like, there's people don't even know how to read what's in their food. Like, they just see the front and they're like, oh, this has apples and bananas. But if you actually look in the back where it really matters, in the ingredients, like, you'll see this is actually bananas, apples, it has lime juice, it has another berry. Like, this is always misleading. So if you're gonna buy packaged stuff, take 1 more minute and just read the ingredients, so you know that what you're putting into your body, because I feel like so many of us are misled with what we're eating, and you don't even know why you're feeling bad, because you don't even know what you're eating. So yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's a lot. I mean, we can talk about nutrition for days. So we can wrap it up here. If you are interested in more details about anything that we've talked about here, you know, leave it in the comments below. Help us come up with some more video ideas that could be helpful for you.
Yeah, it was nice to do just a talk.
Like a raw talk.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoy this video. We will see you next week, probably on the paddle court.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Ah!